Hey yo, what is up FPG fam? Further here, and it is tier list time. So Saki released on the global side not too long ago, and par the course on the channel, whenever there's a new simulacrum that enters the game on the global side, we then do a tier list to see how they stack up against the other simulacras that are in the game already. Now if you're new here, welcome, thank you so much for clicking on the channel. Go ahead and consider subscribing, join the FPG fam, we would love to have you stick around. We are on our way to 40k. While you're at it, go ahead and drop a like, just tells YouTube that the video is pretty decent, and it just boosts it in the algorithm. Thank you guys so much for all your support. So just to do a quick background on how we do these tier lists with the limited simulacras. This is my prior tier list, by the way, when Ruby released. This is where I had them. We might do some moving around and some shuffling here. I don't think we'll be doing too much shuffling though, because I went ahead and looked at this before recording, and I kind of still agree with everything that we have here, but we'll talk about it in just a moment. But just to give you a quick background on how we do these tier lists, with the limited simulacras like Frigg, Nemesis, Claudia, Ruby, we do them with at least 1 star, so A1 or below A0, just because they're limited, a little more difficult for people to grab. And then for the standard simulacras, just their more desired or their preferred star, whether it be A5, A6 or below, that's where we have them. So let's go ahead and start off by talking about some of these here. So Frigg, I still say double S tier in my opinion. Nemesis, I still say double S tier. Fantastic. Huma, I would still say double S tier because I was taking into account A6, and A6 is pretty nutty on Huma, so I'll leave that alone. For Claudia, I still say double S tier as well because of the A1, that buffing support is universal. It's just fantastic. You can put Claudia on every team, so I think Claudia stays in the double S tier. And then for Ruby, at A0, A1, fantastic. I think still double S tier in my opinion, especially in that fire team comp. So I like everything that I see here. Now, let's go ahead and move over to Meryl. So Meryl, I know a lot of people in my last tier list was speaking about A5. I did touch on A5, but I thought maybe A3 was like the sweet spot, but a lot of people said A5 was really good, and I understand A5 is pretty nutty, gives you a huge power spike, huge damage spike. And now with Saki and Frigg and everything else coming together for the Frost team, I could say confidently, especially in like a tank fortitude resonance comp, Meryl just keeps going up and up, right? With her viability, with her utility, what she brings to the table. When Frigg entered, Meryl was phenomenal, and I thought Meryl was S tier. Still to this day, I think Meryl's S tier. Now with Saki, and then you put Frigg in there. I mean, Meryl's great. Double S tier. I'm going double S tier. Tsubasa, I think, is S tier. Coco, I'm going to bring down to A+ tier, right? I think S tier was a little too high for Coco. I think Coco at A+ tier is fine. Once again, all these tiers are great, right? I don't have a C or D tier because I don't think any simulacra with stars are C or D tier. And then I don't really think any is B tier as well. With stars, A and above, they're all great, right? But bringing her down to A+ tier, I think is fine. Samir in S tier, I think is great. Samir, fantastic. A really strong simulacrum. And then Shiro with A3, I think is S tier. Now, you could make the case with Saki and all the things that you can do there. You might bring Shiro up to double S tier, but in most cases, you using her in that physical team comp. So in that case, with A3, I'll keep her in the S tier, in my opinion. King, I still think is A+ tier. I think he's fantastic when you unlock some of his advancements. I think he's A+ tier. A5 is really where you would like him to be, and I think he's valuable in the fire team comp, so, or the flame team comp, I should say. Cobalt at A1, A0. I just don't think it's that. I still to this day don't think it's that great. I think she's pretty decent. Okay, I don't think she's all that great. And then even advancements with 0, I think he does become a lot better. But I don't think it's really anything too crazy, right? I don't think he starts skyrocketing incredibly high. I think he's pretty decent. Did I speak about Crow? I think I missed Crow. Crow with some advancements is pretty good. Still a little niche with some of them, you know, because like the backstab thing. But I think S tier because he's a top tier DPS, especially in the Volt team comp, right? He's fantastic, so I leave him in the S tier. But with 0, yeah, I still keep him in the A tier. Didn't mean to click on that. Just think he's pretty good, right? Pretty good. Nothing too crazy. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Saki at this time. So where do we put Saki on the tier list? Now, when Saki released, I did a video just giving my first impressions, my initial thoughts, and at A0, I used her extensively, and I thought she was fantastic. I thought her kit was cohesive. I thought it was balanced, strong. I think with the 2 different stances, you have versatility there, so you can use her in a more defensive tank comp if you want, and still do damage with the counterattacks and healing, and you have the blocks, and just becomes unkillable, right? You pair that with Meryl, and Meryl at A1 with the shield, or A5 to give you some extra damage, paired with Frigg to be able to do the DPS and multi-slash around with the Frost Domain. Shields are nothing in that team comp as well, just to let you know. Shield melt like butter, hot knife through butter. It's non-existent in that team comp because Saki could do so much shield break and shatter, and so can Meryl. It's just kind of ridiculous. And then the Frost Domain, it's amplified even more, and Frigg is even a pretty decent shield breaker at that point. So that team comp is pretty incredible with the tank. You become unkillable, you just heal so much. It's just amazing. I love the tank team comp. And then if you switch to the excited flow, the DPS that you're getting is just absurd between Saki herself and the passive damage that's flying around, as well as with Frigg. You put in the Frost Domain, and now you just have something that's pretty nutty, right? If you pair Claudia in there or Tsubasa, now you're buffing up the damage even more. It just gets pretty ridiculous at a certain point. And then if you have A1 unlocked with Saki, now you're doing double the skill, double the damage, burst is out of control. So it's pretty incredible no matter which way you go with Saki, whether it be excited flow or silent flow. It doesn't really matter in my opinion. I think both are fantastic, both are viable, both are very strong. And then once again, if you tack on the A1, now you have the resetting of the skill cooldown, so that way you can then do more burst damage. Not only that, you get the added perks of the skills, whatever it might be for whichever simulacrum that you're using the double skills for, so that is great. And then you're getting double the damage as well within the A1. So there's just so much that's happening there. I think you culminate all those things together and put it into a Frost team comp that was already strong, with Frost Resonance, Frigg buffing, Tsubasa buffing, Claudia buffing, Meryl just added in there for extra tanking. It just becomes pretty ridiculous and a top tier team. And I think Saki is a top tier simulacrum. A1, let me just say this, at A0 I think she was already double S tier, but with A1 she's most certainly double S tier. This simulacrum is just incredible. Cannot say enough good things about Saki in the Frost team comp with A0, with A1. She's just that good in my opinion. She is that good, and she just brings the strength of the Frost team comp even higher than it already was. Like I mentioned, I thought the Frost team comp was already strong, arguably the strongest team in the game on the global side, and now she amplified that even more to a higher degree. And then you can look into future simulacrums to come down, like Alice is going to amplify this team incredibly. You have Lynn that you can throw in there if you want to, that can amplify the team. Not needed, but you can throw her in there, and whatever other simulacrums that can come down the road for the Frost team. Frost team is just sitting very nice, and with the addition of Saki, it is on another level at this point. So I have Saki in the double S tier, A0, A1, it doesn't matter. She's just that good. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, just as long as you're being respectful and you're providing constructive criticism. That's all that really matters. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I do truly appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name is Cody, but you can call me further. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.